Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about the importance of not comparing yourself to other people when you're thinking about your values or what you're trying to achieve or the things that you are producing. I think a lot of people have this tendency, like when let's say they're writing a book, and then when they're trying to judge how good their book is, or when they're trying to say what they want to do with that book, they compare themselves to another great intellectual. Like, let's say that you are writing a book. That's what I was talking about. And then you think, oh, this needs to be as good as Ayn Rand, or it needs to compare itself to Ayn Rand. No, this is the wrong way to think about things. This is very second-handed. Your life is the source of your values. Your life should be how you judge how good your book is. You have a certain potential in your life. You have a certain ability in your life. And other people have their own abilities. Other people have their own potentials. Everybody's an individual in this sense. And Ayn Rand had her ability to write her massive 1,200-page books that are extremely profound and have this really good philosophical message, this really deep philosophical meaning as well, with her incredible characters. And you have your own ability to do what you want to do with your books. Don't fall into the trap of just feeling like you need to aspire to be somebody else, or be that person, be this other person that is creating this book. That's not the goal, because you're not going to achieve that. You're not that person. You have your own values. You have your own life. You have your own individual desires and individual ability. You don't have to compare yourself to other people when you're creating something. You can have sort of aspirations to be similar to somebody. You can look up to somebody as sort of a hero. Hero worship's fine, because that's inspiring. That inspires you to improve your own craft. But don't ever get into the trap of comparing yourself to that other person, thinking that your value as a writer, for example, only makes sense in comparison to this greater ideal. No, the standard is not other writers. The standard is not other, like for me making videos, other YouTube creators. That's not the standard. The standard is, what does this do for my own life? What is this? How is this doing in with regards to what is possible for me? So I would feel bad about a video if I feel like I am not living up to my maximum potential as a content creator, living up to my maximum speaking ability as a speaker. Not if I'm, and the issue, or my standard should not be if I'm as good as like Rucker, or as good as Frog Machine, or as good as Leonard Peikoff, or as good as Ayn Rand at speaking. Those should not be my standards. Those have no relevance to my life, how good of a speaker those people are. Those are meaningless to me. I can maybe look up to them as ideals, or look up to them as people who I think are good speakers, but never should I compare myself to them. I should never compare myself to those other people as these sort of people that I need to aspire to, that I need to be like. No, I need to be like myself. I need to be like, I need to produce the videos that are important to me, talk about the ideas that are important to me. And the second that I start comparing myself to these other people and feeling like I'm not as good as somebody, or my videos aren't as good as somebody else's, or with the book thing, if you feel like your books aren't as good as anyone else's, then you are going to feel bad about yourself. You're only ever going to feel bad about yourself, because there's always going to be these people that seem like they're better than you, that like Ayn Rand is going to be, because if you're going to be a writer, Ayn Rand is probably going to be better than you. But don't take that as some sort of attack on your writing, or some sort of limit to your potential. That's not what it is at all. You have your potential, you have your values, your ideals, and those are different than Ayn Rand's. Those are different than any other writer's ideals or values, I guess. Those are completely different things, because you're a different individual. You have your own requirements for living that are different from Ayn Rand's. And even if you want to be a writer just like her, your books are obviously not going to be the same. And if you try to imitate her, you're only going to create worse copies, because you're not actually pursuing your values. You're putting someone else's values before your own. And with me creating YouTube videos, if I was like, I need to aspire to be just like this other content creator, I would be basically giving up my own values, be giving up things that I want out of this channel, just to aspire to be somebody else, to copy paste someone else's channel to being my own. And that's a recipe for failure. That's a recipe for giving up my own values and only ever failing. If that's the standard, if the standard is how I compare to other people, I can only imitate. I can only imitate and create worse copies of this ideal that I'm trying to pursue. But when the standard is my own values, my own life, that's when I can actually create content that matters to me, create things that are, and have this sort of objective measure to judge it by, like how good I am in comparison to what is potential for me. So yeah, I think that's a really important point when you're doing anything, when you're creating anything, is to compare it not to other people, compare it to your own values, to your own potential. And I think that is how you will ultimately be happy with what you're doing and be okay with what you're creating. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say for today. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Peace.